Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're cracking open AstraZeneca's latest blockbuster report. We're going to dig into the story behind their massive growth, get a peek at the future of medicine they're building, and really understand why it all matters, using just the details from their newest update. So right out of the gate, the report hits us with this super confident statement. And you can tell this isn't just about one good quarter, right? This is them declaring that they're building something for the long haul. This one quote really sets the stage for everything we're about to see: momentum, growth, and some seriously big ambitions.
Okay, so let's start with the foundation for all that confidence. First up, we've got to look at the financial snapshot. These are the big headline numbers that tell the whole story in just a few seconds.
And here it is, the main event: $15.2 billion. And get this, that's their total revenue for just 3 months. It's a number that's so big it's kind of hard to even wrap your head around, and it just speaks to the incredible scale of what they're doing around the world.
But you know, a big number is one thing. What's maybe even more impressive is the growth, a 12% jump from last year. Now, for a company this massive, getting double-digit growth is really hard. It's a huge sign that their strategy is absolutely firing on all cylinders.
So, where's all this money coming from? This chart breaks it down for us. Now, obviously, the US is their biggest market by a long shot. But the real story here might actually be the emerging markets. They're more than a quarter of the business and growing like crazy. This isn't just a US success story, it's a global one, for sure.
All right, so we've seen where the growth is happening. Now let's get to the fun part, the what. What are the actual products, the blockbuster engines that are driving these insane numbers?
Wow, this chart pretty much says it all, doesn't it? You can see the absolute powerhouse of their business, oncology. I mean, cancer treatments alone pulled in $6.6 billion. That's more than their next two biggest areas combined. This is the core engine of the whole company, right here.
And even inside that huge oncology number, there are some real superstars. So let's zoom in on just one drug that the report says is making some serious waves. It's called Enhertu.
Okay, now look at this number, a 37% jump in revenue in just the first 9 months of the year. That is the kind of explosive, single-product growth that can literally lift an entire company's performance. It's a clear signal that doctors and patients are adopting this drug at a really remarkable speed.
So what does that 37% actually look like in dollars? Well, this simple table shows it perfectly. It's a leap from about $1 billion to nearly $2 billion in just a year. And the report tells us why. Enhertu is becoming the new standard of care for some types of breast cancer. And let me tell you, in the world of medicine, that phrase is a total game changer.
So yeah, the results right now are fantastic, but a company like this is always looking 5-10 years down the road. This next section is where things get really interesting, because it's all about the pipeline of new medicines they're building for the future.
All right, I'm just going to put a number on the screen. 16. What do you think this could be? New drugs they've launched? New countries they're in? Just take a guess.
That is the number of positive Phase 3 trial results they've had just this year alone. Now, for anyone who doesn't follow this industry, a Phase 3 trial is basically the Super Bowl for a new drug. It is the final, most expensive, most important hurdle it has to clear. To have 16 of these succeed in a single year is, and I'm quoting the report here, unprecedented. It's just a massive sign of a super healthy R&D engine. And here's just a little taste of what those 16 successes look like. We're seeing a potential new treatment for high blood pressure that's really tough to control. And look, there's our friend Enhertu again, this time potentially expanding its use to early-stage breast cancer, which would be massive. Every single line on this chart represents years of research and a potential new blockbuster drug.
But you know, a company's story isn't just about the science and the sales numbers. The report also gives us a peek at their bigger strategy. So let's look beyond the lab and the ledger for a minute at a couple of key strategic moves they're making.
This one is a really big deal. They're highlighting a historic agreement with the US government that kind of has two big goals. On one side, it's about helping lower the cost of medicines for patients. On the other side, it's a major strategic move, bringing manufacturing to the US. This means making the medicines sold in America. It's about affordability, but it's also about securing the national supply chain.
And finally, the report makes a real point to talk about their focus on sustainability. And clearly, it's not just talk. People are noticing. I mean, you look at publications like Time and Sustainability Magazine, and they're being ranked as one of the world's best companies for their efforts. The big takeaway here is that outside groups are actually validating their commitment. So let's put it all together.
We've seen incredible revenue, powerful blockbuster drugs, and a future pipeline that looks exceptionally strong. It's a really positive picture. But that leaves us with one last, really important question. With all this success, what are the hidden risks that could challenge this growth story? From new competition to regulatory hurdles, the road ahead is never a guarantee. And that's the story inside this report. Thanks for tuning in.